Hello, willkommen, bienvenue, bonjour, ciao, dzień dobry, good day, mate. All that foolishness is because I have discovered that I am being viewed internationally, which of course shouldn't have been a surprise because YouTube is an international platform, but it just never occurred to me that anyone outside of Somerset, well, it never occurred to me anyone outside of this house would watch it. So I got a little bit overexcited. But I've discovered that I've now got viewers in Canada, New Zealand, Australia, Scotland, USA, and obviously England. So yeah, so that was my excitement for this week. I got very excited about that. So welcome everybody. And if you are watching from elsewhere in the world, please comment below and let me know where, because it's very exciting. Secondly, I'm hoping you can hear me okay, because I have a new, thanks to my eldest son who bought me a present, I have a new stand to put my phone on so that there's no more table, sewing box, cardboard box, blue tack arrangement. I have a lovely purpose-made stand, which means you're a little bit further away from me, so I'm trying to project so you can hear me. So I hope you can hear me, and I hope I don't forget to speak up. Next thing will have to be a microphone, I think. I have actually, speaking of the microphone, I have opened a Kofi account. Kofi, Coffee, however you say it. I'm going to put the link below, and then I'm just never going to mention it again, because I've been persuaded to do it to help out with the purchase of equipment, and also because I would like to do a decent giveaway every month, and I can't really afford to be buying stuff to put into the giveaway. So that's all I'm going to say. To help out with postage, prizes, possibly equipment, there's a Kofi account, and I'm never going to mention it again. Okay, so can we just pretend I never mentioned it now? But I said I would, I have done. Embarrassing. Okay. Gremlins have moved in. Gremlins have moved into every single one of my project bags. I have not touched a single piece of knitting without there being a problem with it this week. Not one single thing. Even my temperature blanket, and that is, it's one row of garter stitch a day. I mean, how can you go wrong? And I discovered that, I don't know, days back, I must have dropped a stitch. So even that, they even got into that. So I decided on Saturday that I was going to have a knitting free day. I was just going to step away from it all. I was going to do some sewing instead. So I made this blouse. And it kind of went okay. There's a little bit of a hiccup there and there. But I don't remember the last time I put a collar on anything. So I'm fairly pleased. Bearing in mind this was meant to be a toile. And if you are not a sewer, a toile is kind of the sewing equivalent of a tension square or a gauge swatch. So you get a cheaper fabric than your nice fabric that you want to make your garment out of, and you just quickly whip it up so that if there are any alterations you need to do, you can do that on your toile, transfer them to your pattern, and then when you cut out your nice or your expensive fabric, you've not got to fiddle about and possibly end up with bits not looking as they should. So I made this to be a toile. It's actually made out of an old sheet. It was one of my boys' sheets when they were little. And I started it probably 2 or 3 months ago. And then my husband said, let's decorate your craft room. Oh, I've got something to tell you about that as well in a minute. And so everything got moved out for a fortnight, and by the time it moved back in, the sewing urge had passed. And I have to be in the mood to sew, and I wasn't in the mood for, well, I wasn't really in the mood on Saturday, but I had to do something. So I finished it. And as soon as I'd finished it, it had to go straight in the wash to get the blood out. Apparently I'm not allowed anything sharp anymore. So I finished this, and then I thought I'd make my son some pyjama trousers. My youngest son, who is very tall, he's well over 6 foot, and also very narrow. He's got, I think, a 30-inch waist. So we can get him trousers and jeans. Primark, bizarrely enough, very often do a 32 waist with a 34-inch leg, which is just about long enough. But pyjama trousers are a nightmare because they come in small, medium or large. So I was going to make him some pyjama trousers, and I always start by sewing up the crotch seams. So the front and the back seam. And they're different shapes and different lengths. And I sort of offered them up to each other, the two sides. I thought, that's not right. So I took them apart and I twizzled it around and I tried again, and it still wasn't right. And the reason it wasn't right is because I'd got 2 right legs. And that's my entire week encapsulated in that short story. Blood, 2 right legs, wonky collar. The thing I was going to tell you about the craft room was, if you remember, I'll get started on knitting in a minute, I promise. A few weeks ago I said we'd had 3 floods in the house. Well, now we've had 4. And the only room that had been decorated but not damaged by floods was my craft room here. And I can't say that anymore because the ceiling above my yarn, I came in one evening on the way up to bed. I always find an excuse to come in here on the way up to bed because this is like my happy place. And I called my husband and I said I can smell wet plaster. And I am very familiar with the smell of wet plaster at the moment, trust me. And I have got a nose like a bloodhound. I said, I can smell wet plaster. And he came in, he sort of poked the ceiling and he went, no, it's fine, it's fine. Well, a couple of days later I came in and the section of ceiling above my yarn, I have to keep saying above my yarn, was bowed slightly. And I thought, that's not right. And I called him back again. He said, oh no, it's always been like that. And then I came in the next night and the paint, there was a big bubble in the paint. And over the course of the next 24 hours, water started dripping further along the big bowed section. Yeah. It was a pipe to the sink in the ensuite. Again, it was the second time. Different part, same pipe. But it's all fixed now, and touch wood, ceiling is drying out. Yarn is undamaged because fortunately in the decorating process I moved it all into plastic crates, sealed, not sealed, but you know, with lids, plastic crates, whereas before it had been in cardboard boxes and I don't know how to describe them, like baskets. So it wouldn't have been protected at all from not very much water dripped down onto it, but there was some. So I don't need to tell you, I just don't need to say any more about that, do I? So yeah, so that was my week. And I will tell you about each disaster as we go. So, I'm going to start with the one thing that isn't a disaster, and that's my One and Done shawl by Casapinka in my Ducky Darlings Peony yarn. I've done that much since you saw it last, where the little duck is to here. It's growing, it's beautiful. I've got, I think you can see where the garter ridges are. I've got 2 more of those sets to do, and then I do the exciting thing. I don't want to give too much away because it's a paid pattern, but you'll see eventually, so I suppose I might as well say. As you go along on a particular row, when you finish all of this section, you drop the middle stitch of each of these purl sections in the rib, and that opens it up, and you end up with it. Find the picture for you, because at the moment it seems quite small, but when you do this it will increase in size. I don't know if you can see, kind of see. Can you see here that it's opened up? So I've got, I think it's 2 more of those sections, and then I've got this edging to do. So that's almost done, and I'm hoping to have it done in time that I can enter it into Craft House Magic's spring shawl along. I've already done 1 entry, and I think I'm allowed to do another. It's not like I'm going to win, so I don't suppose it matters. But yeah, that is the only thing that there's not been a problem with this week. I forgot something. Hang on. I'm back, sorry. I didn't really need to pause the camera because I only had to reach over there, but you didn't need to be treated to the inelegant sight of me trying to get out of the chair and reach. I have a finished object. I have finished my Rhinebecky's Calling Socks by Crazy Sock Lady, Kay Litton. And because they were, well, they've got some lacy bits, and I've not really done lacy socks before. I wet blocked them properly. So yeah, so they are done, all done. They're knit in 75% merino, 25% nylon, from my year-long advent calendar from Anne's Knits. So I don't have a colourway name for them because the yarns in there haven't got colourway names. They're just, but this was May's, in mine anyway. I think she does them, what's the word I'm looking for? Personalises them. So if there's particular colours that you really like or particular colours that you really don't, she adjusts what she puts in according to you. And they're really not coming out as well. I move me out of the thing. I can't get the colour to come out as nicely as it is in real life. They really wash out, but they've got a lot more mauve in than seems to be there, and the pink is a lot stronger. So not entirely a disaster, I suppose, this week, because I have got a finished object. A single finished object. That's a clue if you saw last week. Last week I had a blue sock almost finished. I just had to do the toe, and I said hopefully next week I will have done the toe and it will have a friend. It's got a friend. When I showed it to you, I put it on a sock blocker, and I really struggled to get it on, and I thought at first that was just me being a bit cack-handed, and then I felt a bit suspicious about it, and I think I even said it shouldn't be this hard to get them on there. So I tried it on, And let's just say that if this was a production of Cinderella, I'd be one of the ugly sisters. There was no way that sock was going on my foot. So I had to pull it down. And I thought, if I'm pulling it down, I might as well wind it into 2 cakes. So I want to have a go at 2 at a time socks. So I did that. And I cast back on. And I've tried 2 at a time before and couldn't manage it. And then I saw a tip to do the ribbing, put it on spare needles, cast the second one on, do the ribbing, put the first one back on, and then knit the sock. Okay. So I did that, and I knit the ribbing for the second one, and then I looked and I thought, the stripes don't match. And I can't have the stripes not match. So I pulled them down again. I thought, right, I'm done with this cuff down business. I'm going to go toe up. So I cast one on and I did my increases for the toe cap, put them on spare needles, did the second one, looked at them, and guess what? The stripes didn't match. So I pulled them down again. And I've cast them on for a 4th time, and you may see I have been very careful. I'm sorry if I'm shouting at you, I'm afraid that you can't hear me. I've been very careful to ensure that the stripes match. So hopefully we're going to have 4th time lucky. And I would be knitting those now, except that my son, I should show you actually, this is, I showed you, so I bought some new cat fabric. This is the bag I made with it. So I've got a new bag. Yes, my son, my lovely son who bought me my purpose-built phone holder for filming thing, also bought a ball of yarn and asked me would I knit him some socks. And he wanted some bamboo socks. So I'm having a go at 2 at a time, and these are his socks. And they don't match. But I checked with him and I said, does it bother you? I didn't think it would, because he went through a phase of wearing odd socks. I don't know if you remember when the kids were all doing that. And in actual fact, I made him some socks for Christmas, and one pair that I made him were rainbow stripes, and I did the toe and cuff on one in blue and the heel for the other one, and then swapped it around. I'm saying the other one a lot. The second sock had orange cuff and toe, and the first sock had orange heel. Does that make sense? I mixed and matched anyway. So the body of the socks matched, but the cuffs, I'm going to stop there because I'm just digging deeper. Yeah, so I didn't think he'd mind, and he doesn't. So these are his socks, and they are being knit from Rico Superba Bamboo, and it is very soft. If you've not used, I don't know if you saw that, did you see that? I hold things up and then I don't think to look. All over the place. 50% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, 25% viscose, which I presume must be the bamboo content. But they are very soft. And I started off, I was going to do a pattern on them, so I thought they might be a bit boring just plain, but the pattern took away from the softness, so I took the pattern off. I've left kind of a ridge, don't know if you can see it, oh you can on that one, where the toe cap joins the body. I did every other stitch a purl, because I think socks look a bit weird when there's no defined line between the toe cap and the body of the sock. I don't know that anybody else thinks that. It might just be my own peculiarness, but there you go. So that's the socks. I've actually done a little bit on my what's it called, scrap blanket. You could probably see that happen there. My mind went completely and utterly blank. Everything just fell out. Oh gosh, hang on a second. Sorry, somebody was ringing me and I've had to decline the call. Last time you saw it, this was the last bit I'd done. I've now done this bit, which was the leftovers from my Ange Knits frozen colourway. The very, very first hand-dyed yarn I ever bought. That's that one. And this one is one of Craft House Magic's. She sends a little, I call them tasters. Well, it's a sample, isn't it? A little 5 gram sample with your orders. And that is it's gone. What is wrong with my brain today? The reason I can't remember what this is called, and it's one of my favourite colours, and I'm desperate. I'm intending to buy some. The reason I can't remember it is because I've now just looked at this one, and this is Morning Has Broken, and that's stolen the name of this one out of my head. It's a Bon Jovi song. I can't remember. How annoying. Might come back to me. Anyway, so it's coming along. It's slow progress because I'm only doing it when I've got a scrap to add. So I'm quite pleased with that. That's okay. Wasn't actually any disasters with that, apart from the fact that I've forgotten what it was called. No, I've not put the tag in there either, so I can't. I know, coming to you with half a story, aren't I? My jumper, I have cast back on. If you saw last week, I'd got the gauge was wrong and the neckline was too wide, and I made the decision I was going to pull it down and have another try. My gauge was coming out too small, but it was still going to be a bit big. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Something not right. That's what was going on. So I've cast back on. I've gone up from a 3.5 to a 3.75 needle. And bizarrely, the stitches look smaller and neater. So I don't know whether I was perhaps trying to knit more loosely and I've just gone back to my natural tension now. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. But I've not got as far through it as I was when I had to pull it down. So I'm just going to give you a quick look at it, just so that you know I did cast it back on. Not that you'd know, I could be lying, but I did cast it back on. And that is my Breezeway by Fogbound Knits jumper. So much as I was excited to knit it, it's becoming a bit of a slog because I'm having to do it again. But Ducky Darlings, who makes the peony for my shawl, she's just done a shop update with a load more peony, and she's got 4-ply or DK, and I really need to see whether I'm going to get on with this jumper because I want to buy some to make another one. And there's no point if I hate the pattern or I finish it and then go, well, it's too light to wear in the winter and too warm to wear in the summer. So I need to persevere. But I've done what I always do, and and I think a lot of us do, I'm desperate to cast it on and get started, and then I cast it on and I get started and bored with it, then want to move on to the next thing. So I'm annoying myself. I've done a bit of shopping. I bought this from Amazon. And this was £1.10, which I think is pretty good, and it came quite quickly. I don't know that I really needed it, but it was £1.10, so I got it. And from Craft House Magic, I have ordered, that's how I happen to have this particular sample. I've ordered a couple of these, the higher 16-inch, because that's what I want to try for summer sock camp. I can't say that again. What is it about that? I need to do like vocal exercises, don't I, before I come on to... Yeah, so I'm all ready. I made myself a bag with the fabric I showed you last week. Made myself a bag. Now I've got my needles. I'm all ready to go for next Tuesday. Just got to choose my pattern and my yarn, which it may not be as easy as it sounds. So that's finished objects, whips, life update and shopping. There only remains one thing to talk about, and that is the giveaway. I said I was going to show you today what I was going to give away, and I'm going to show you some of what I'm going to give away, because the thing that I made you I'm not very happy with, and I want to redo it. Did that just unfocus, or was that my eyes? I don't know. Either way, it's a bit disturbing. So I'm going to remake what I've made you. It's a design of my own, and I made a prototype which came out really well, and then I made one to give away to you, and I wasn't happy with it. I'm not happy with it at all. So I'm going to remake that. So I will show you that next week. The giveaway starts today, essentially. I'm going to show you some of what the prize is now. And that will run until the 30th of June. I'm sorry I'm distracted, but I've just noticed that it keeps going in and out like that, and I don't... Is that because I'm moving? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I've probably made you all really car sick now. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and sit still. I'm not very good at sitting still, but I'm going to try it. Right. Concentrate, Mandy. Okay. Giveaway will run until, well, I suppose the 29th of June. Did it again. On the 30th of June, I'm going to... see if that stops it. On the 30th of June, I'm going to draw, same as I did last week for the last giveaway. So if you would like to enter, do so before midnight on the 29th of June 2021. Important information, because people have still been entering last week's giveaway, or the week before's giveaway. And of course it's been drawn, they've missed it, which makes me a bit sad. So if you would like to enter before the 29th of June, midnight, because I will be drawing it on the podcast on the 30th of June. To enter, all you need to do is comment below. And I will repeat this every week because it's going to roll on until the 29th. So all you have to do is comment. If you would like to comment but you don't want to enter, just say that you would rather not enter. That's fine. It's not a requirement. It's absolutely fine. So there will be more than what I'm going to show you. Where to start? Okay, so Ducky Darlings has very, very kindly sent some yarn. Now, I've not opened this because this literally came just before I sat down. So I do apologise if I am once again rustling loudly. She and I did a swap. Oh my goodness, this is going to be very hard. She and I did a swap for one of the summer sock camp bags. And she sent me some yarn. And she sent me one for me and one for a giveaway. And now, sorry. Now I've got to choose which one of these I'm going to give away. Oh, I might just have to buy another one to give away. I don't know. So anyway, I should just stop admiring it and show you, really, shouldn't I? So this is Pinata. Which is utterly beautiful. And not unlike my favourite peony. And this is Freckles. Which is again utterly beautiful. And one of these will be in the giveaway. I have got to decide which. Perhaps I should get you to decide which. That might be an idea. Comment below whether you think Pinata, multicoloured, much more brightly coloured than it's coming up there. If you have a look on her Etsy store, which I'll link below, you'll be able to see what the colour's like properly. Because as we've discussed before, I cannot get decent lighting in here. So that's Pinata and this one is Freckles. So tell me, have a look on the Etsy store so you can see what the colours are like properly. And tell me which one you think I ought to put in the giveaway and which one I ought to keep. Because I am the world's worst at making a decision. I was born in October, I'm a Libra, I cannot make a decision for the life of me. So that one of those is going into the giveaway. And there's a bit of a story attached to that. So I sent her my address, or did I? And then I spoke to her later on in the week and realised that I hadn't sent her my address. I'd sent her the wrong house number. So my husband had to run along to, it's about 5 doors up, which is the number I'd given them, and say, look, there's this parcel coming for my wife. We're very sorry. It's not the first time it's happened, to be honest. I do it all the time. And I haven't, I mean, look, they're not fat fingers, are they? Why can I not hit the right number? And more importantly, knowing that I don't hit the right number, why can I not check before I press send? Is it a menopause thing? I don't know. Anyway, so husband goes to speak to neighbour. Neighbour's wife turns out to be an artist, and she has dropped in with the parcel which came some of her cards, some of her art. And this is it. I think this is the wrong way around, sorry. So that is called Cigar Galaxy. This one is Antennae Galaxy. And this one is Whirlpool Galaxy. And on the back of each card, it gives you some information about that galaxy. And these are prints from her original artwork. And she does crystal gem therapy. And apparently what she does is, with the original artworks, grinds up the crystal and mixes it with the acrylic paints and makes the original artworks. She did have an Etsy shop. I checked with her this morning. She did have an Etsy shop, but she's just closed it. But if you're interested in any of her artwork, I will put her email address down at the bottom and you can email her, because I haven't seen the paintings themselves, but my husband came home raving about how fantastic they were. So yeah, if that's something that you are interested in, drop her an email. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk to you, and she may even open her Etsy shop again, I don't know. Yes, so these 3 cards will also be part of June's giveaway, with one of these skeins of yarn, if I can be, have it crowbarred out of my greedy fingers. Let me know which one you think would be nicer to have as part of the giveaway, because frankly I'm torn. Not everybody likes bright multicolours, do they? But this has got my favourite green in it. So I'm going to let you choose, because I can't. It's just, yeah. I'm trying. While I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm trying to decide and I can't. So I'm just going to leave it up to you. Comment below which of those yarns you think would be most happily received as part of the giveaway, and that's the one that will go into the giveaway. So next week you'll get the full gamut of what's going to be in the giveaway: yarn, bag, cards, anything else I can think of to chuck in there. I think that's everything today. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you in anticipation of helping me make up my mind. Sorry about the fact that the camera keeps going in and out. I've moved myself to try and stop it and it hasn't worked. And I'd better go and see why my son was ringing me. So thank you very much once again. Check out the information below and I will see you next week. Bye guys.